Welcome Brawlers, and today is a special one, not only because this is a request from the comments from a previous video, but also because we're gonna be playing one of the most powerful mechanics in all of Commander. We're gonna be playing partners. And in case you're wondering, it goes Commander Ninjutsu, Imminence, then partners. Those are the three most powerful mechanics in Commander. Partner says you can have two commanders if both of them have partners. So with these two we're gonna get access to all colors except white. And not only do they allow us to play those colors, but they also have really nice abilities for a control deck. Our first commander is Tidus, Zanarkand Fayth, also known as Thrasios Triton Hero. For 1 green and 1 blue we get a legendary Merfolk Wizard 1/3 with you can pay 4, scry and reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, otherwise draw a card. If we have this card out during our opponent's turn, that means if our opponent doesn't play into our interaction, into our counter spells, into our removal, then we get to pay 4, which is not the most efficient way to do it, but we get to pay 4 and essentially draw a card or ramp some more. On the other hand, we have Clive Rosfield. For 1 generic, 1 black and 1 red, we get a legendary Goblin Berserker. He's a 2/3, and whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. Clive deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player, or a planeswalker that player controls. So on the other hand, if we have this commander out, then every interaction spell is gonna deal damage to our opponents, and in some cases to our opponent's planeswalkers. And that means we can play him late in the game and he becomes a win condition on its own. And he also incentivizes us to play our delve cards, Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, because if Clive is out, then we get 8 damage out of Dig Through Time, and that's just 2 mana for 1/3 of our opponent's life, as well as 2 cards. We also have Commandeer, pretty much the same reason, except it's free. We exile 2 blue cards from our hand. And just to get a little bit more burn, we have Professor Onyx, Chandra, and Waking Inferno. They are 6 mana planeswalkers that Professor Onyx drains for 2 whenever we cast our instant on sorcery, and Chandra gets an emblem each turn. But also we have Hullbreaker Horror as a win condition, and Rally Set by Roy. Now I want to talk about the way I built this deck, because this deck is essentially a Sultai deck, splashing a little bit of red. So our mana base is gonna reflect that. Although for this particular version of this deck I decided to go with snow covered basics, so that we could play Flare of Cultivation, Cultivate into the north, and Rampant Growth. And we are still playing all of the shocks we could, as well as the fetches and the 4 tricycle lands. And the solitaire cards that we're gonna be playing are ramp cards, counter spells, card draw spells, removal spells like Bitter Triumph, Shoulder's Edict, Awaken the Odor Dead, Finding the Old Gods, Drag to the Roots, rats like Damnation, Extinction Event, Languish. And from time to time you will see that it's also acceptable to play Thrasios as a chump blocker, just because he's so cheap and we can replay him over and over and over again. And to a lesser extent, the same goes for Vial Smasher. That's the deck. Let's head into the queue and get some ramp control burn action going. That's the deck, and let's get some ramp control burn action going. Cecil Dark Knight. So we should start cleaning up for Damnation. Right. Since we drew Utopia's Brawl, the play there was to sprawl on Proving Grounds and play a tap land. So we had Damnation next turn. Well, I guess this allows us to get our opponent to play more threats. Or just get lost. Commander. Okay. We get a Hermit. Hey. That's me. Liliana of the Veil. Yeah. We keep her. What is it gonna be, Batman? Ooh, ha 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 ha. +2/+2. And a bodyguard. So we should block. Our opponent takes some damage here. To 15. And I guess we killed your bodyguard.
Happy to help,
And maybe you want to kill Liliana in return.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Opponent shocks and they're gonna transform their commander here by attacking Liliana. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dying.
I am okay with that. I need Spellbinder. Oh, I am not okay with that. Of course. I guess we play Clive and explore. We need that land. Okay, we get that land. Okay, opponent is spending the removal even though they know we have Damnation. So I'm not complaining, I'm just stating some facts. We're gonna get Maestro's Theater or Sanders Lodge. What's Maestro's Theater? Destructible until end of turn. Huh. Okay, what is it deck? Why are you being like this? Story of Benalia. Okay, can we get that land for Damnation here? Extinction event. Okay, no, that's good, but still. Even. Attacking Numa. I guess they get back Spellbinder. I'm gonna send it back with Subtlety. We finally get Damnation. Is it right on time or maybe too late? Let's find out. Elite Spellbinder is gonna take Ral maybe? Okay. And opponent plays Sizzle. Huh. Okay, so we have Tasha, we're gonna Treasure Cruise first. This is not enough to save us, I think.
Ooh, a fight. Perfect. Don't come any
Or actually it is
closer.
barely. We would go to 1, 2. Okay, yeah. And because of Ancient Cornucopia, we are getting some life back. Alright.
Keep your distance, mortals.
I've got you, we could do something else. Okay, yeah. That Tasha really came in clutch to save the day, as well as the Cornucopia. We were just gonna keep getting life, and Cecil was on the black side for the foreseeable future because our opponent is at 14, so good games, Cecil. That was really close. Maybe if they had attacked with their Hive instead of playing some spells in some of the earlier turns, maybe. I would need to check the math, so good games. And it's a mirror. Let's see what our opponent is doing different than us. Because with 4 colors, the possibilities are not endless, but definitely wider. Opponent is playing Surveillance. Arcane Signet. We go Narset.
The focused and disciplined. I have just the trick for this.
Jace, Virtue, or Cut Down. I like a Cut Down. It gets both commanders for just one single mana. Brotherhood's End, that's a
Still
nice
have
one
much
from
to
our
learn.
opponent. Oh, Commandeer. So let's keep these two in hand for Commandeer. Thrasios. They are gonna call them commandos, so we should point in kind. We're gonna commandeer it. We're gonna gain 1 life. You're gonna discard, and you're gonna lose your signet. Opponent leaves their commander in their yard. Maybe for delve, maybe for reanimate. Destroy non-land. And reanimate. Has nothing for their shifting woodlands. We're gonna deal 6 with Chandra. Getting alive and
Get out of my way. I'm burning up here.
it's minus on your commander. Opponent reveals Grim Tutor.
A burning desire to finish you.
What could they get with it? It would need to be 3 or less mana to play it now, so they have options. Pillage the Bog, also semi-tutor. I don't think there's a way they can remove both Vial, Smasher and Chandra, so they would probably have to go for Chandra first, which means they are gonna take another 6, go to 6. Okay, they get, well, they play a land, and we only know they have the One Ring. Okay. So, since we're not gonna be dealing the damage, we play Jace, which we drew here. And we gain 1 life. We will brainstorm. It's both the lances, we're gonna want to play these two. No attacks. And I think our opponent might die either from Chandra or the ring, or both of them put together. Temporal manipulation. Okay, I mean, you're only going to be taking more damage, opponent. See, now you're taking 3 all the way to 6. Maybe 4 if we play Shielded Edict. And I think that kills their Grim Tutor. Oh, opponent disagrees, I think. Okay. What can you get? Let's see it, opponent. Go for the throat. Okay, weather the storm. So they gain 9 life. We brainstorm.
Oh, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
Witherbloom is just as dark and musty as I remember.
Now we're gonna lose Professor Onyx.
Ugh! There has to be an answer here.
Opponent is taking 5. And we have Shielded Edict or Remand. You can draw more cards, opponent. Definitely not gonna die to the board encounters. So what is it, opponent? Do you have something? I guess we've just been playing. Do you have anything not to die? Time Warp? Okay. I believe that kills you. Maelstrom Pulse. So we remand. You take 2, we gain 2. Sorry, we gain 1, you go to 5, and let's see how you survive your triggers. Opponent. Sure. Desperation. Maybe Tail's End? Yeah, that could work. But since our opponent is not snapping it off, I don't know what they do. Maybe something else to dig? Dig through time could be. Draw a card. Heritage Reclamation. Exile from the graveyard, draw a card. Now, is this Telsen? Memory Deluge. Okay. And opponent finds Silch. Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you don't have a plan to win. You just lose to your own One Ring. Opponent needed a win con at some point. They needed to put pressure on us. Instead, they were the ones under pressure with the One Ring. So, what was that? Like 12 damage just from the ring? Good games, opponent. Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. So they want to have creatures with power 4 or greater, so a big red deck. They should be ramping in the early turns. Ruby Medallion. We are gonna take care of that. Combat Celebrant, so they can get extra triggers from their commander. We made a couple lands, Shieldred Edict. I'm gonna play Thrasios, as well as Farseek. Farseek, a really good addition from Through the Ages. It's gonna allow us to get any Triumph we want, or if our opponent is playing Blood Moon or Winter Moon, we get to get a basic, as long as it's a plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Opponent plays Roaming Throne, and they have their Cavern of Soul on Dragon. Enters or attacks. Treasure Cruise, although I paid a little extra. Could have played my fetch land first. Opponent maybe didn't draw their 5th land for Dragonhawk. We're gonna take 4 from the throne. Bitter Reunion. Okay. Solar Transformer. We're gonna play Planar Genesis, try to find an answer for Dragonhawk next turn. Languish. Okay. We're gonna let them trigger Dragonhawk. Well, it will be 2 times. And we get to see the power of having Thrassios also as a chum blocker in the command zone for a really cheap cost. Invasion of Darkir. We should counter that. We lose the flip, so it just gets counter. And good thing we didn't risk it for Dragonhawk because he would have uncounterable. Roaming Throne, we are gonna block this time. And we're gonna activate once. Midnight Clock. Okay. And since we drew Damnation, we should activate Thrasios, try to get a land, and then Cryptic was nice. And then we're gonna Languish. Our opponent is gonna get Nighthawk with Haze from Bitter Reunion. But we're gonna Damnation it. A whole Damnation just for our opponent's commander. Oh, they choose to go with Terror of the Pigs, but same deal. I guess if we play Hullbreaker Horror, our opponent might concede, so let's try to see how they like it. We're gonna bounce Terror of the Pigs. Okay. They instead bounce Hullbreaker Horror. We might lose here. We'll be fine. It's just... oh no, that's lethal. Yeah. I had the line, but I chose to ignore it. Kefka, Court Mage. So we go from Batman, in Cecil the Dark Knight, into the Joker, baby. Yeah, we're just keeping for mana drain, I think. And also because Grixis usually play this card early, so... opponent has a Spirit Pet. Search for Ascanta. And Farseek. I should probably play Search in this deck, but I don't know why I don't. I just don't. Narset, Parter of Bales. So that's gonna get Beer Triumphs. Yeah, opponent didn't minus, so it would last longer. Maybe they... we're against our rare opponent who reads, so they know what Clive does, and they realize it can kill Narset, if need be. Okay, let's keep passing. We're gonna try to drag Search for Ascanta to the roots. If our opponent is passing again. Faithless looting. They discard Ripples of Undeath and Languish. Thought is we should mana drain that. Looting again. We're going to remand. Tear Asunder. Let's you and play Tidus Andronicus, as it were. The One Ring, yeah, no, not you. We get to Jace Brainstorm. Actual Brainstorm. Send both of you. And if we have Land Planeswalker, we can drag for 1. Sorry, for 2. We have the limb and I think we discard here Brainstorm since we have Jace. Or should we discard? Yeah. We're gonna use Liliana. Okay, opponent draws 2. Play Liliana minus.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault.
Okay, just
Sacrifices must be made.
Sanders Lounge. I mean, opponent is basically using their commander for... Okay, that's gonna deal each creature, so we're okay. We just need to activate. It's great. We already knew what's in the top, so we send 1 land and keep another. That's another synergy with Tidus with Jace. Opponent tricked us. Okay, they didn't. They just didn't want to kill Tidus that badly. Deluge Extinction Event. We're gonna discard Malevolent Hermit.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Yeah. Gonna play Roscoe. Okay, memory lapse. We're gonna draw Roscoe with our commander just in case that wasn't clear. But we're also keeping up mana to drag Kefka to the roots. Opponent mills their Takenoma. Oracle of the Alpha. We draw Roscoe. We get a fetch. Okay. Nice brainstorming, Jace. We're gonna Maelstrom Pulse because it's sorcery speed. And we are also gonna Roscoe. Opponent plays Memory Deluge. We're gonna Liliana away our halfling.
Don't overthink things.
Okay, so opponent is gonna Memory Deluge again. But we get to activate. Let's keep a land. Subtlety. Explosion and Growth Spiral. And we're not gonna activate Lily this turn. Hullbreaker Horror. Okay. We are going to drag to the roots. Now opponent can choose to Kefka, but if they counter all subtlety, then we have no cards to discard. Electrodominance. Okay. Killing
Fine.
Liliana.
I'll take my zombies and leave.
And they play Prison Burrower. Petty Theft on the Midnight Clock. So we're gonna use the mana from the clock to activate. Banding away. But Damnation is not great. Reverse Rebuke also not great. Treasure Cruise is great. And we're gonna Brainstorm. Alright, Damnation away. And also away. I guess Jace is gonna die here. Are we okay with Jace dying? I think so. Now, because we have the clock, we're gonna be more careful about the cards we dial. Okay. House melt. Okay. So now we're gonna play like this. We play Clive. We have damage for our opponent's turn. I think we might be able to pull lethal if our opponent does nothing. Or even if they do something, depending on what it is. Yeah, bye bye, Jace. You will be missed. Oh, Kefka, that means we subtlety did 4 damage to you and you're on lethal, so. Good games, opponent. I mean, you can still counter, but anything we play is lethal. House Melt is lethal. Binding is lethal. Awaken is lethal. So, good games. Even Hermit is lethal. Limefoot and Squee. And we have Dasha if they have a way to discard one of their payoffs for Slimefoot. Then we get a big creature, hopefully. And the opponent keeps their Surveil, so maybe not something great here. And it just passes. And I guess we keep lapse up. Memory lapse for Slimefoot and Squee. Shocks. Memory lapse. Oof. Okay. Now, unfortunately for opponent, we have Poseidon who endures. So we're gonna disappear your commander in your whole deck. Because you can choose not to find, but you have to search for sure, as well as shuffle, so. Tough luck, opponent. And that's why you always send to the command zone. Eliminate. Okay. Cankerbloom. Better than okay.
Whatever little quest you're on, don't try anything cheeky.
So maybe
now.
they're more of a value version of Slimefoot and Squee rather than a full-on reanimator, but still they need their commander. Otherwise, what's the point? Bitter Triumph
I
on
bet you think
Tasha.
you're so heroic.
And let's keep hitting land drops. Witherbloom Command. What are the odds? Oh, and they mill Slimefoot and Squeeze. So he was shuffled, but he remained in the top 10 cards. Lucky opponent. And he goes back to the command zone now. You really did get lucky, opponent. You have no idea. Now we take the 3. Opponent plays Fury, gonna kill Tidus. Utopia's Brawl away. And lands, I guess. And now they have something to reanimate with Slimefoot. The Kitrog Ravenous Ride. That's a big boy. Sorrelty. Not doing what we need right now. Brawl even less useful, I think. Okay, opponent had to saddle and then attack. They are missing on value. Actually, Ral is okay, we can use his minus to look for some stuff.
Hey, you see a guy in a blue hood around here?
I'll just we get counter spell. I guess we don't want the command here.
Well, gotta work with what's available.
Reverse Rebuke. That could work. Oh, but that shock puts us all the way to 10 life. Let's see if our opponent throws some damage at Ral here. Because we really need them to. Okay, Slimefoot.
A new world requires new strategies.
Okay, we're gonna block. We're gonna protect Ral here. Commander to the command zone. Okay, tail send, so we're gonna reverse rebuke, then Ral minus or Ral plus.
I've calculated exactly what
Maybe this is a plus scenario. Because we have tail send for the Gitrog. Ooh, Duress. Yeah. That's a good one, opponent. Okay, that was lethal, opponent, but still you're gonna be winning next turn, so.
Well, this was wasted time.
Shieldred. Narset Enlightened Exile. She's gonna give prowess to other creatures, all as well as herself, and whenever she attacks, they get to recast a non-creature, so that triggers prowess. If they play another token maker, we can cut it down, and eventually we have Languish. Mitra's Bubble, a nice recast target for Narset. Oop. Opponents are Tear Asunder. I guess we can play Tidus. One has removal for it, which is why we have it. We can play him. We don't mind him dying right away, especially since we can recast it. And the point is to get some value out of him. Should we? Tear Asunder on the table. Opponent chokes in a land. Maybe they have a 5 mana. We are gonna try to mess with their math. Birki and Moxamber. Seek new knowledge. Seek 2 no-lands and return a card from your hand. They lose the mana. I guess we are going to play Tasha, start closing, see what the opponent does.
I'm busy. Give it your best
And
shot,
because
adventurer.
of Tasha's ability, we can block with our Board Grazer without it dying. So, unless they trigger prowess, which they might. Should have thought of that. Monastery Mentor. Voice of Victory. That probably is enough for Languish here. Should we get anything from our opponent? Mentor or Voice of Victory? Nah, we're alright.
Beware. I know some sickening magic.
And now if we choose to use Tasha's ultimate, we can direct to the roots for the discount price. Yeah, I like that plan. Play creatures from our opponent. Oracle of the Alpha, Swift
If you
Spear,
weren't
Esper
impressed
Sentinel.
before, you better
Oof.
be now.
We made 53. Not too shabby. 36 remaining. and we get prowess from Swift Spear. Yeah, okay. This is great. Narset gets mana drain. Okay, opponent concedes. Yeah, next turn we were gonna play Tidus, activate him maybe a couple of times. An opponent had a bunch of their deck revealed. Oh, Time Warp, of course. Now you need to play 2 spells to get a Time Warp back, but that's not unheard of in an Narset. The Fairy Time Raveler, obviously now at 4 instead of 3. Galvanic Relay, Defense Protection, Mystic's Mastery, Grape Shot. Okay. Opponent was really doing it. Nice deck. Good games, opponent. Tifa. How do we beat Tifa? Why, of course, with some cheap interaction, which we don't seem to have. Okay. We need to pray that this will work. Arboreal Grazer. We play the Triton hero. Zanarkand Fayth, Moxamber, Lavaspur Boots, land, Tifa, equip the boots. Alrighty then. Should we shock? Maybe the 2 life will make a difference. And again, maybe not. Virtue on Tifa. The player again. Damnation. And we keep our commander in the yard for treasure cruise purposes. Nissa, Resurgent Animist. Equip. Combat. Commit. Okay, commit doesn't technically counter, so we can use it, even though they have Cavern of Souls. We can also use it on Nissa if need be. Traveling Chocobo. Yeah, we should send you back. Whence you came from. Commit. And a fetch land, so if they wanna shuffle their Traveling Chocobo, they can, which means they play Tifa again. Not a fan of that. But they only have 2 cards in hand, so that probably means not too much to trigger double landfall. We're gonna treasure cruise and we have a counter spell. Okay, one is odd, one is even. So extinction event is not it. Okay. Yeah, Tifa's gonna be a 4-2. Maybe opponent should have moved the boots first. And a Shaya, Soul of the Wild. Good game, Steve. So those were the games, and I gotta say, I think that I'm missing some cards because by having 4 colors, you get access to so many possibilities that it's almost overwhelming. That it's almost overwhelming. So, but still, I think this is a decent enough build, especially considering I decided to go for the Soul-Tide route and the Snow-Covered basic route. So if you feel like you need to make some adjustments, go ahead and try them and leave some comment about your experience playing this deck, because honestly there's so much room in this particular, because honestly there's so much room, because honestly there's so much stuff you can do with this deck that I would like to see how other people try it. And I hope you enjoyed watching the games as much as I enjoyed playing them, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.